Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Accelarated. I'm from the C4IR South Africa. My topic for today will focus on C4IR South Africa's achievements to date and the way forward. Just to give an overview of the project, C4IR South Africa has joined the C4IR Network SMME Future Project, which focuses on accelerating the adoption of industrial Internet of Things by small and medium enterprises in several key industry sectors, such as manufacturing, mining, and agriculture. The first pilot of the center is focusing on the use of industrial Internet of Things by SMMEs in the automotive industry. So what is the value proposition to SMMEs? One is to provide a full business diagnosis beyond the scope of technology. By this, we mean that the full diagnostic of each SMME to be assessed to assess the root issues that will form as a baseline assessment into the digital maturity assessment. This provides a holistic view of the SMME and not just the technology issues. In doing so, we suggest solutions that will address the root causes instead of the symptoms. Two is to enhance SMMEs through the adoption of IoT technologies. SMMEs will understand that the most appropriate IoT technologies are for the business and how this can be applied at a suitable rate and scale. The aim of which could be to enhance productivity and increase efficiencies through the simplifying or streamlining of processes. Number three is looking into the pooling of IoT expertise that SMMEs can draw on. A pool of expertise will be created through the center's partnership with industry organizations, government, university, and research institutions, including funders. The purpose of which is to provide SMMEs with the support and mentoring throughout the process. Number four is looking into the connecting the SMMEs and IoT vendors. The center will help facilitate the development of SMME and vendor relationship and equip SMMEs with the necessary skills and support with the managing of vendor relations. The purpose of which is to empower the SMME for future vendor relations beyond the program. Last but not least is to equip SMMEs to better participate in their industry value chain. The purpose of utilizing IoT technologies is to enhance SMMEs so they're able to better serve their clients and perform in their value chain. For the sake of the presentation, I'm going to focus on two key activities that the center has been involved in. One is the adapting and piloting of an SMME policy protocol developed by the WEF and published in January 2020, called Accelerating the Impact of Industrial IoT in Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, a Protocol for Action, with a primary focus on the digital maturity assessment results for the SMMEs in the pilot project. Secondly, we're going to look into the collaboration that the center has had with C4IR centers in Brazil, Turkey, Colombia, and Kazakhstan to conduct a survey of impact on COVID-19 on their technology adoption. This resulted in a publication called COVID-19 and Technology Adoption in Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, the Impact and the Way Forward. In relation to COVID-19 and technology adoption in small and medium-sized enterprises, the study was intended to complement and enhance the policy protocol and provide a novel contribution to the body of work, seeking to understand the challenges surrounding and facilitating adoption of digital technology in SMMEs, and also to understand the issues that SMMEs must face if they are to embrace digital technology, and will therefore require a collaborative effort from stakeholders in both the public and private sectors to identify the solutions. Surveys and interviews were conducted with representatives from industrial SMMEs, industry association, policymakers, and other stakeholders, including vendors and academics, between February and August 2021 to evaluate the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on digital technology adoption in SMMEs. A total of 141 SMMEs and 34 large enterprises in Azerbaijan, Brazil, Colombia, Kazakhstan, Turkey, and South Africa were involved. The 21 industry sectors included construction, trade, machinery, metallurgy, automotive, food, processing, aerospace, textile, agriculture, and chemical industries. The most cited barriers to the wider adoption of IoT by SMMEs are financial constraints, lack of skilled labor, and infrastructure barriers. It therefore recommends that the policymakers should focus on the three identified barriers in order to promote wider adoption. The study underscores the importance and continued relevance of policy protocol published in the Accelerating the Impact of IoT in Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, a protocol for action. While the pilot project aims to pilot the policy protocol published in the Accelerating the Impact of IoT in Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, called the Protocol for Action, the policy protocol identified four main policy intervention areas. 1. It's raising of awareness. 2. Expert support and upskilling. 3. Financial support and collaborative environment. With the IoT for SMME pilot project, we developed a roadmap to guide us through the implementation phases. This started with SMME baseline assessment. That meant we worked with the SMME to profile their organization for the pilot and understand some of the key characteristics and factors that influence their success and challenges. Followed by SMME meet and greet, which included orientation of SMME to the pilot project, understanding SMME challenges. Then that was followed by the digital maturity assessment upscaling. So the industry partners were oriented on how to conduct the digital maturity assessment, including key probing questions. This was then followed up by the one-on-one digital maturity assessment. So our teams worked with SMMEs to assess their digital maturity and obtain relevant evidence. This was then followed by the curation of use cases. So based on the findings of the digital maturity assessment and the baseline assessment, a set of use cases were curated from various industrial IoT implementation. So in our case, we had 7 proposed use cases. Out of that, 3 were prioritized based on the needs of our SMMEs. We then moved over to the solution design workshop. That was then followed up by a one-on-one solution design sprint. And now we are at the phase where we are ready to implement the pilot project. So what is the digital maturity assessment value? It's to create awareness and educate, create national benchmark, trend analysis towards industry and economic growth, create individualized and industry-wide implementation plans towards 4IR maturity, identification of key areas to further develop capabilities, skills, and technologies, phased approach for each manufacturer to implement processes, technologies, skills, etc. towards the 4IR maturity. Our digital maturity assessment focuses on 7 key areas. 1 is strategy and organization. So here we just want to look into say how digitally inclusive is our strategy. 2 is value chain and business models. So we're looking at how is digital transformation impacting the organization business model. 3 is manufacturing and operation. So it's how smart is the manufacturing factory. 4 is technology and digitalization. So it's innovative technology used to improve internal processes and value offering. 5, we're looking into the people, resources, and culture. So how digital transformation ready is the human resources? 6, we're looking into the product and services. So products and services delivered to the customer is driven by data-driven insights. Then lastly, supply chain and logistics. So product distribution and management. This is a sample digital maturity assessment report. It gives an overview of where the SMME is currently standing when it comes to digital maturity and where they would like to see themselves. Also a comparison with where the industry is so that we can then tell how do we bridge the gap between the desired state and the current state. Our digital maturity assessment revealed that the level of technological maturity for many of our SMMEs is still quite low, with limited integration of digital technologies in their operations. So where to from here? We say since the fourth industrial revolution is characterized by the increasing digitalization and interconnection of products, there will inevitably be some common steps for all companies, especially in the early phases, regarding activities such as establishing connectivity in the digitalization phase. The solution phase will provide solutions that will aid in the acquisition, development, and implementation of required technologies identified, together with the company management, along the phase solution design. All this will be done through the pilot implementation phase. This is the end of my presentation today, and thank you all for being a good audience.